Well, that is something, Roslukise Bila. As she dealing about Gidi Lefa and into a Thunderwood Lefa, so. Because it's you get into a lot from Kale and ignore you. Lefa Lizamaya. And I'm a 12 inch, but what can, but what you are in. Anche va root or Monaga. Lefa kinto a young, Lefa Lizamaya young, and the Olo control of young winner. Anche what was that zone to do this. Now, whenever Lefa, I can understand. Lefa is something similar to Bosch, but the Boschella son, or you two say a tool or conopay. Now, the thing is good. There's a way I'm concerned with thing, and then because of our Nago age, motivating or routine to routine, go control it because of I want you to meet this topic, but no, Zama motivating. So, Kiona Pati a Runyabatos at or they will actually live at. And now, before they leave Earth, they need to prepare you. This is how you open that thing. This is how you're gonna live, with what we live things, with the things that we leave you behind with. When you meet that conversation here, but eventually at the back of their mind, they know what don't talk of. Lina know what don't know that. Mara, am I preparing myself? Am I preparing myself? Nabele. And in the process of preparing myself, am I preparing others as well? So they know when I'm gone, this is what I leave behind. When I'm gone, this is what happens. I mean, if Bazori Barina, because when I'm in Bazori Barina, but pages Bagohudi, was a day. Then Baushela Lefa, Kului, Cheletanyana, Ndlu. It becomes a problem because of Bana Falazavai. Because of a honest directive or Lefa Span. So Lefa it becomes a situation, Arizurura Langalone because of Feleza Lil Omulumo Malignac. Ogre Motswati Aberga pick and pay for longer period, 30 years. Hakabu Falamola, Banabahai, Pagrea, She, Yachileten Zebergella. From a past experience, come quick winning that thing, there was a guy, Castratasak, Selacra leaf. A chelet, ya, but you have Motoria Selacrofa. Agra chelet. We rahile amount. Ya fail. Now, why should they fail? We irahiwa amount they fail. It's just a big question. If it is again, if it's a directive, or how chelet a if fail, or Araruta Banavar nor Babarkebia. That's Kyo no Namu Arabaruta or Babarkebia. That's someone out for a chelet. Yeah, what's what? I reach a rough. And Kimo, Hanchiba Tomos and Abaran Shelter live, I will receive because what I see how. No, Pila Archava, I think we're not knowledgeable enough to say horror. Lefali, Shelter is sitting about Falabo. This is how you need to control. But Luena, because of Luena, all the mind characters also go. No, we create as a Punyaguera. You want to achieve all your bucket list before Otomona Nagar investment. But the time was on Nagar investment. So it's 10,000 from 400,000. And this situation, Tomagarina was what? I'm talking about parents from the 80s, moving forward, 80s and 90s. What do we leave for our kids behind? Selor Botos Zamagasona, Bato Pushagasona after 1 year gone. When I'm in one lady, Lozabasona life covers. As a product, the life cover is a product. It can cover your kids or ever active you when you hold a white here. And then whole Trocofala, that's when Banababa Karachelet Moyo. Now Banababa Karachelet, what's the directive that you leave to an insurance company or when I die, I want you to control this money like this. No problem. And then Banaba Banj has a life cover or the police or whatever. And or ever activated one Hagra Hatrofan. Kur a nyake le mo spouse sa se itse gore o na le policy go sangla mo policy go kae kae because wa itse e a ka a ka ngire re ke goga if it's a claima nyuku and then nyuku le yatso. Now I think obviously vele I rile ka mkho ka understand it's done and wa bamba ba berekisa as a tool of survival because onna le monna by the time I tsona di policy hardly period na sat as no start our claim the insurance company will pay out accordingly. They will pay out because of get claim. They will pay it out because of never hover support because they need to pay out because they were making money whilst muthola as apathe because insurance companies actually they are an cover you invest on other businesses so you can generate it twice. It generates from you making paying on a monthly basis and live on about actually they by the forex investors or the portfolio managers but some investor go on somewhere else. Now insurance company makes money twice. Now but hope or you if you not a life cover but hope you don't die for the next coming 10 years or 15 years. So life cover is the zaman. Even though they offer about a cashback, but the money you've already paid and the money that they use how to go and reinvest on other businesses and other things, eba twice as more. But they're gonna pay you what they've covered you because any insurance company before you create a license, essentially want a certain amount of money for a period existence on a survival. You can't survive because if you go on within the period scope, sub policy when come thing needs to pay out. I understand. Now we need we need to control these things. So it's change. And here unyaka a life cover or unyaka anything else, especially the will. The will it has to be based on your directive, not what the product is saying. Otherwise you must make it a customized product. And if all the insurance companies are offering all these things, the life covers and then the money, the policies, if they don't get you come thing, they're gonna lose a lot of money because Rena, we are the customers. We are the ones who actually sign up to these companies and we pay money for what they sell to us. But we need to tell these people back to say, I don't want this, I want this. Now, if these companies don't want to listen to us, we'll find a company that will actually listen to us. And then by create a product, personally, and it has to be customized. If it's expensive, then we won't take it. We'll find someone else who will customize it based on this policy has to be like this. And then, this is the thing before money is being released to your kids. Remember, you must have a funeral policy, fine, and a life cover. Life cover how it needs to be directed by a will. Before you release it, if you are or whoever, if how he's under 21, the policy will say if it's under 21. The policy will wait until child is 21, then child the age. Now right director. Before one how 21, if one how 16, whatever age, half it's a metric or whatever. If unyaka child release this money must be released. Your child must bring in a proposal how this money is going to work. Or one house on the high school to the finance or child, how do you use money? Every child more fighting to the finance. Well, especially now how to control money, where to control money, and which assets need to buy using the money that your parents have left you behind. Whether get doctor, whether get you, it doesn't matter. But if I want a financial education, he knows or she knows what we will survive. Because with the lack here, our kids are not going to serve because of lack of meat. We don't go on. Hopefully, it's snacks. The will must say money will only be released if one out like one only a background of financial education, two like a proposal how to use that money. There has to be a proposal or and it's like a plan or you so. If Motu pursue a career, let it be a career, and the money will be released if you meet all the standards. That person must push as hard as possible gore a kgone fitlha tšhelete e kgone go tswa, and then mo pateleletse they must pay ke yone directly. And your will must say that. Don't make a will or ke nyaka bana ba ka ke tlhokofala ba ire. Yeah, but remember, once o tlhokofala bana ba they are ba sana kry ba sa kry directive le mosadi a ka ba direct le ena o fitlha mo pentoro o lapa. But if there is a will e go control mosadi wa hao le bana ba hao or bana ba hao bo botlhe entirely, then you've left something behind for your kids. Because financial education, it's every tool, every person o mo le mo sontsa bana le yona. For the lack ya yona ke yona gore re tshwara tšhelete re spenda unnecessarily, and ke yone producer unnecessary lifestyles. Motho gore re rekile koloi o reka bjang koloi fetse we drop gore it's just because of you like it, or because of lifestyle you want to fit in with a certain group, that's why we drop. Ke tsone lo tse so the tattoos ke tsone lo tse so ra batho ba ngwana mmele wa bona di tattoos. But if tattoos were not introduced to you, will you make one? Or if we went someone else, will you make one? No, you wouldn't, because we went somewhere. Meaning someone's influenced you for you to get a tattoo because you saw skin is how see beautiful enough, see bright, more who cry tattoo. So now everyone else on a tattoo. Such life skills in your or there's a small influence somewhere else, and that influence might come from a good point of view or might come from a bad point of view. One thought. Now, the will or the life covers say we need to take Renawa Soto, and it has to be specifically designed for Renawa Soto. If your kids banday 3, it has to be specific on every kid all needs to do this. But basically everyone else needs to have a background in financial education and a certified financial education. Rather, really Mrs. School I will to have financial basic education, where to invest, more investment, the part of investment, what the opportunities are to take up, understand everything is related to finance. Now, how to follow? You've left your kids something to live with. Our share the fellow in JFL. Lenza abereka kaya hola chele, but without proper financial education or control a chele, because eventually we end up chele the forefront of what we're doing. Right TVs. Now, we TVs have osna education, how we control. Look at TVs we agree. But how do you make it come back to you? How do you make it how hola 2000? So like I was about Mangari. Because of another non rohola and rohola the bonuses, how can we take our bonus really into a position or it generate you on each and every month? But fine, no problem. In a group you have about 10 or 5. It's 0 to 1. Now your ones or these people are not, they are scared or what are stubborn. It's because of our financial background. Because if Mutanzana financial background, they is okay. Now I was but in my 80s. I'm not saying specifically my 1976 crew in 1960 and 1950. You've done what you have done, but I'm talking specifically more the crew year 1980s, the 1980s, because we are the current parents in our who need to set standards that our kids how to live. Ito magarina, if for another side, then the rest of the kids after 2000 side, they were gonna fall in the same trap, or even worse. Now our inheritance in Willis Arena, if we take a life cover, make sure that life cover how before now I access on a proposal on a background of financial education, verified and certified financial background, and know which opportunity to take. And then the people by that financial the money away in the inheritance away Chile by a controller by born. If we van, make sure the baggy we more are part of the will actually whoever by a control. They need to see if this car it's okay. Since under insurance, so it's a bill. If you have it's a contract, it's a failure whenever there's a contract or whenever there's an evaluation event. If Kikoloi, where do you use it for? Do you use it for or do you use it to go around the way of a span? That's what I'm saying. Because make sure every little thing that you invest or you put in, it's controlled, and this becomes an opportunity for black entrepreneurs to create the insurance companies that will take care of the life covers, and those life covers they are direct, they operate based on how we rena Basotho re phela jang. Because rena Basotho re na le bo mahadi, re na le dilo tsa setso, re na le mamma, re na le di-rituals tsa rena. We should get the products tsa go re suit ourselves, e seng di products tsa go suita batho ba, then rena re di latelela. It's an opportunity for companies tsa Basotho di buliwe, di control ke Basotho, di control the assets tsa rena tsa bana ba rena, not by the misuse but by the control pele gore bana ba rena ba kgone go phela le tsona, go na le a life standard they need to follow: education, investment, reproduction. If go na le dilo so, then we have a way out. Sa tseya life cover o le ho go ya patela 4 million, and then the next thing bana ba hao ba ya sekolong and then ba drop out, ba tsere tšhelete le ba ijele ba feditse maphelo bana ba phele. Because that's ke ntho ba yang go teng, ke ko ba yang go teng. Mara ha ba sena direction, everyone is on a direction. Mara ho share direction, then there is direction, then there ka se wa reka the next generation ya ho dime, and le rena we won't complain because ho share chat ina le ka mkhora nang ka teng. I think we put a life cover. Di va le bila. Ka hane we tsere life cover we tsetse bana ba hao. It's a beautiful thing gore we tsetse wena ro kwa mo go sele o irala. Mara ro kwa me sale le tlhaka. Na tlhaka one ele reproduction ya tlhaka. E di repeat. Mara re stop aning or especially mo loseng tsa life re stop aning. Ntwe. Zontse stop rena Basotho. Re sontse re stop o phela o ka re a re ne direction. Re na le direction, and then each stop of produces a fail like I dilo tsa tsone le lefa ho gwa mo ke mathata. One, will ya aware will. Two, ona di assets tse di tso di fitlhile go di girlfriend tse di tso di fitlhile go di nyetse tse di tso di fitlhile go kae. Get someone else to control all these things. Get a company e le khona o itse di assets tsa di tsamaya bang so ba khona di control, ba khona di maintain. And le bona is the problem mo le rona le corruption le bona ke problem. Eventually batho ba in charge ka tsona ba tsena ba nya go direkisetse ba nyerile botho ba ba. So into ke di ira la ona bana go di family motho a tla go fala mo mvango atata. No stop and do this. Don't do stop, but the only way to stop is to have or want a life cover that will teach your kids how to access the finances that you have left behind, the assets that you've left behind. They need to have basic education of finance, and they need to bring in a proposal on how these things will be from now on. Has not one at Lozeri Lonamu or not that until attitude. Otherwise, we're going to have a generation lost.